Hello everybody, welcome to the sound test stream. Today we are taking a look at POLYPHASE. POLYPHASE is a generative sequencer. So melodies on it, I'm reading from the App Store description, and melodies on the master channel are created on the fly, but you don't have to have them created like that. You can switch that off and you can actually draw them in yourself, but you can make them go with all sorts of different variations and stuff, and it's very cool. And you can send MIDI out, which we'll get into as well. So there's a very useful help section here. You can open this little tick and it will, the question mark, and it will take you through everything you need to know. So, I mean, if you're interested in things like this, you're going to find this useful. It's easy because it's all on one screen. There's no swapping backwards and forwards to screens. It has its own built-in synth as well. So we're going to start this off. And this is the internal synth playing. And you'll see that these are going to vary with the master track. So the master track is the main thing, and this will change accordingly to how you have your settings set. So here's the synth. And you have lots of controls for the synth. Master volume. So you get it. That kind of thing is what you can do. So with the synth, you also have these snapshots here. So to remember a snapshot, you just hold it. And that's remembered. Turn that decimator off. And then you have your, so we can remember that. And then you have your key and scales. So remember that a snapshot too. Okay, so keys and scales. Now you have here, it's, I don't know if you can see this, but it says FC, which is follow chord. Now this will lock this in to what it is. You see, it says D minor harmonic, and you can switch that off and just do it yourself. You can also, these are your global settings down here. Okay, so let me just move this down. So these are your global settings down here. So whatever you do down here will affect the whole thing, unless you have some of these locked or off or on. So for instance, at the moment we've got here this master chance, 100% of it will change. Okay, and because we're affecting the master, it's going to affect all of it, but you can still change. You see, slave chance 2, slave 1 chance. You can change how these will change over time. Okay, so 100% chance of this changing. And now look at number 4. 0% chance of this changing. So it will just stay the same. So we can draw in our own sequence, and that will stay the same. And there's another way to do this as well. If we switch our channel off at the top, it doesn't stop the sound, but what it does is it locks this in as well, so we can draw in something here. And that will stay the same. Of course, because the master channel is now locked, it's not going to affect anything else neither. You can change. So different things. You can randomize direction. You can clone the master. If I clone the master, it will clone it once, and in the next pass it will start to change. We can extend the note so there's no rest or gap. We can go to Euclid sequence, which is like Euclidean sequencing, which is like for drums and stuff. We can swap them. We can randomize all settings. So your beats and times, like you see, you have 2N, 16N, and you have 16 triplets, etc., 8 all the way up to 32, I think. Yep, all the way to 32. So you can set them as you please. Down the side here are different things you can set. So you can send CCs off via MIDI. It's best to just look at what's going on inside the take that last there, inside this help menu here, because this was going to explain everything that you need to know to do this. Now for your MIDI settings, right, all you need to do is hit MIDI, and there you'll go. Now you'll see in the background here I have AUM open because I'm sending stuff out to AUM. All right, so let's go and have a look at AUM a second, see what we're doing. Let's get rid of MIDI. Okay, so you'll see I have a Poison, a Mood Synth, a Xeon here, and also Sunriser. Now for the setup here, you don't need to worry about the transport running in AUM because Polyphase is dealing with all of that and the clock and everything. Okay, so whatever you set in Polyphase is going to affect these three synths. You don't need to use AUM. The only reason I'm using it is because I've got a mixer then and I can control stuff and it's easier to show you what's going on. You can just use Polyphase as a standalone, open up a load of other synths, four other synths, and then you know, control it like that. Okay, so routing, open this. It's an inter-app audio, not AUV3. So you open it as inter-app audio instrument, and then open whatever synths you want. And then all you need to do is choose, like, because we know this is channel 1, AUM, just hit AUM destination, and that's it. That's all you need to do. AUM destination, 1, 2, 3, 4. Corresponds to the MIDI inside, see, 1, 2, 3, 4, inside to AUM. Okay, cool beans. So how does that sound? Let's start Polyphase off again. I hit this little speaker icon to mute and mute the internal synth. And this means that we can now go over to AUM and start to bring in the synths that we have set up there. Sorry, I forgot to set my MIDI channels up there. So because you're setting up MIDI, you still need to route this to AUM destination, okay, because that's where it's receiving MIDI from. But then you need to set up your MIDI routing here. So I mean, by default, it will be like this. Then you select none, and then just select the channel that you want. So it's easy, 1, 2, 3, 4. is what you need it to be. So 1, 2, 3, 4 for the synth that you want polyphase to control per channel sort of thing. So we can start that off again now. So other things to look: rest 55%. This is repeat, 70% chance of it repeating itself. Okay, so if you add on the lower the chance of it repeating, the more times it will change as the sequence is playing. And then all these are kind of self-explanatory, like the percentage is the percentage of it changing. If it was on 0, it would just stay the same. Like I said, the best thing to do is open up the actual MIDI information, and then the MIDI information manual, and then it goes through the whole thing for you to show you exactly what you need to do. But it's good fun. It comes with a few other presets, so we could change this to say this one, and we could load the preset, and then it will be different. You can also blend in the actual internal synth. Got on long enough, right? So there you go. There's a basic idea. So I'm chronic, terrible with MIDI stuff, and I managed to get it going okay. Yeah. So I mean, if you're the type of person who likes things like this, it's kind of like Fugue Machine. Remember Fugue Machine? Kind of like that, but with you kind of get more control, I think. All sorts of stuff. Like I said, you can save your snapshots. Anyone who's into this kind of thing is going to love it. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll put links in the description for Polyphase. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, consider becoming a patron, and I will see you guys later.